Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about a new palette from an indie brand that's new to me. The brand is Saints, Angels, Sinners, and the palette is the Follow Your Dreams palette. It's a collaboration that they did with another creator. So today I'm going to be talking about pricing, packaging. I'm going to show you swatches and eyeshadow tutorial on the look that I created today using this palette for the first time. And then I'm going to give you my first impressions and my thoughts about it and if I would recommend it or not. If you like these types of videos, then please consider subscribing because I'm here every week with makeup hauls, swatches, tutorials, reviews, and first impressions. So let's get into this new palette. As I said, Saints, Angels, Sinners is an indie brand that only recently came onto my radar. You know, I follow a lot of Instagram pages that feature or focus on indie brands, and I'm sure that's where I learned about them. And then when I saw that they were releasing this palette, I was immediately interested. I think because the color story immediately reminded me of the NYX Nocturnal palette, which I chose not to purchase. So when I saw this palette, I'm not saying they're the same, but I don't know, it kind of gave me a similar vibe. So I went on ahead and thought I would try it. So this is the Follow Your Dreams palette. It is in collaboration with Smink or Smink Baronde. I'm so sorry. I know I butchered her name. She is a creator. I don't know who she is though, but this is a collaboration with her, and this palette is an 18 pan palette and it retails for $58. Yes, I told you, indie is not cheap. So what do you get for $58? Well, you get this palette and it comes in a sleeve, and the sleeve is exactly the same packaging as the palette. And on the back of the sleeve, you do have the ingredients. It does not say where this was made. The website is an Etsy shop. And on the website, I did not see really any description of this palette at all, or any of the shadows either. So it doesn't say where it's made, you know, which leads me to assume that it's probably made in China. But again, I don't really know. It does say on the back that it is vegan, cruelty-free. It has a 24-month lifespan. And then you have the palette, and I will insert close-ups of all of the things of the palette and the swatches. So you have the palette. So what do you get for $58? Well, you get cardboard packaging, and it does have a little bit of weight on it, so it doesn't feel cheap. It does have some weight to it. It's cardboard with a magnetic closure. And the artwork on the front, it does look homemade, and it does say, you know, on the website that it's homemade, and it does look at the picture on the front kind of has like a inkjet printer, at-home printer type look to it. And yeah, and the, you know, how the graphics and everything are aligned, the wording is aligned and everything. So yeah, it definitely has a homemade feel to it and look to it. And then when you open up, you do get a mirror. And then there are 18 eyeshadows, 8 metallics, 4 of which are duochromes or duochromish, and then 10 mattes. And of the metallics, there are a couple of different formulas. So you have one, this Harmony, that's really flaky, and then this one, Dreamer, that is a little flaky but not as much. And then you have some that are just really look like liquid metal, like these two here, and then these two that are not as smooth or liquidy in look or feel. These 3, and they have some sparkle in them. And then you have this one here, Fantasy, which is sparkly but more of a topper shade. So a lot of different things going on here with the metallics. You are getting, though, as I said, 4 duochrome. So Dreamer here, or duochrome-esque. Dreamer here, which is what I'm wearing on the inner part of my lid. When I swatched it, it looked lilac, almost like a white gold. And then as soon as I applied it, it looked like a seafoam green. So there you go. And then there is Miracle, this purple, which is, I don't know if it's a true duochrome, but it looks like a purple pink shift. It's got a little sparkle to it. Purple pink. And then Ambition, which is a green to like a blue or a blurple. And then you have this Fantasy, which is again more of a topper shade, and it's a purple green gold with sparkle. And then this one is so soft, it feels like a shadow that you would get from Divina Cosmetics Aurora Flares, or the Adept Cosmetics, like in the Kodan palette. Really, really beautiful. This shade actually is actually a dupe for the Pat McGrath Gigabyte, which is in her Mothership 3 palette, Subversive. I did swatch them next to each other, and they're pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is that the Pat McGrath shade is a little more sparkle to it than this one, but they're essentially the same eyeshadow. So just in case you wanted to know that. I'm going to go ahead now and show you the tutorial on this look, and then we will come back and I will give you my first impressions and final thoughts on this palette after using it for the first time today. right, so you have heard about the pricing, the packaging, you have seen the swatches, you have seen some of these eyeshadows in action, and I tried to use, you know, as many as I could. I did get a little cray-cray, I think. I did go in the corner with this shadow right here. What is this? Euphoria, and immediately regretted it. So that's why I went back in with Dreamers and went over it. Trying to fix it, so to speak, but I don't know if it did or not. But yeah, I think that these shimmers look absolutely beautiful. I did go ahead and pair it with my Beauty Bay Bright Matte, this palette today, with my Beauty Bay Bright Matte palette, simply because with the look that I was creating, you know, I knew I was going to be using these purples and these like lilac pinks, and I just didn't feel like these shades here, these deep shades here, were what I wanted to go with this color, this look today. So that's why I did dip into this palette for a dark purple, because I wanted to go purple, whereas these are more like reddish brown plum mauve shades. So so let's talk about the color story. I do like, it is different. It's definitely different. I do like that there's an orange and there's a yellow in here, though I did not use them today. There are a lot of greens in here, though, I will say, and I don't know that we needed all of them. Like, this one is gorgeous. They're all beautiful, but I feel like Euphoria and Ambition are too similar, although they are different formulas. And Ambition, yeah, Ambition, did I say Ambition? I did not say Ambition was a duochrome, right? Because it's not. They are different formulas. So, oh yeah, Ambition does have like a blurple to seafoam green flip to it. More like, yeah, more like a blue green. So yeah, even though it does have the flip when it's not flipping, it's still, they're still kind of similar to me. This one is just a regular metallic, but I don't know, I kind of feel like we didn't need both of them. Like, if we're going to do like this duochrome, we didn't need them both, in my opinion. Even though this does turn a little more blue, I think we could have done without this one. If you're going to put it in a duochrome that has the same color in it, I don't feel like we needed a metallic, a regular metallic that's that same color. Beautiful, they are both beautiful, no doubt, but I don't think they were both necessary. Also, these two shades right here, I don't feel like we needed both of these as well. They are a little just, I mean, so see, so this one here is more reddish brick brown, and whereas this one is more of a muted plummy mauve, but I don't feel like we needed both of them in this palette. I didn't use either one of them today either, but I feel like once you put them on the eye, they're not going to be that, if you were to blend them next to each other, they're not going to be so different as to needing both of them. And then these two shades right here, this one I was a little disappointed with. This is the one that I started off with in the crease, and it's so beautiful, lilac-y, purple in the pan, but as you saw in the tutorial, it was very, very, very soft on my skin. And again, these two are different, but I don't know that there's enough difference between the two of them that they both needed to be in there in this palette. So this is definitely softer, more muted, and this one's a little more vibrant, but again, I don't think both of them needed to be in this palette. So although you do have some variety in here, I do think maybe a couple of these choices could have been different, and we would have had even more variety in this palette. So that's really that's really my only critique about the palette. The shadows that I used today all performed very, very well. All of the shimmers, even the topper, there wasn't a whole lot of fallout. I used the ones on my lid dry first, and then I went in with a damp brush, and then the topper shade, I used the topper shade dry, as a matter of fact. And then this metallic shade, Euphoria, I started off with dry, and then I think I wetted as well. Did I wet it? I don't even remember, but they work well dry and with a damp brush. And like I said, not a lot of fallout, which I appreciate. The one matte that I did use, very little kick up in the pan, which I also appreciate. Recently I've been using mattes that were very powdery. This one's a little soft, more smooth though, and I did get very little, I got minimal kick up, which was very nice. Again, it was really, really soft on the eye. It didn't show up as vibrant on me as it does in the pan. It was a very muted, soft color, but it applied nicely. I had to build it up, but it's really pretty. It blended really nicely, and yeah, nice. I would have preferred it to be a little more vibrant, but it's more pastel-y than what I was expecting, but pretty and performed really nicely. So I don't have anything bad to say about the performance of these eyeshadows. I thought they worked really well. And they were easy to work with, and it didn't take long for me to create a look with them. And it's also, having used it today and having enjoyed using it today, and the color story being what it is, I am interested in wanting to come back and do more looks with it. I've used a couple of palettes recently that like the color story and the performance and everything, but kind of like once I used it the one time, didn't really feel inspired to go back and use it again. And I can't say that about this one. This one I do want to get into, like, so beautiful. I do really. The shimmers is what's really attracting me to this palette. I do want to get back into using more of the shimmers that I didn't use this time out, and this orange and this yellow. I'm really interested to see how they'll look, if they'll be as muted on the skin, or if they'll be more of a pop like they are, more vibrant like they are in the pan. And yeah, so for using this palette from this brand, this is the first time again that I purchased from this brand. It was a pre-order, and I didn't know when it was going to ship. It said anywhere from May to July. But it shipped, I think I waited a couple of weeks. I wasn't even keeping track because I didn't expect to get it for a really long time. So I did get this a lot sooner than I thought I was going to get it, especially since it is a pre-order. And it was packaged really, really great. I think it came in an envelope and not a box, and it was wrapped up really well in a bubble wrap and envelopes, and so it came unscathed, which I really appreciated. So I didn't have any issues with ordering and no issues with receiving my palette. Now, the one thing I will say about this brand is that I believe they came out with another palette after this one, and it was the same thing. Like, when I purchased this one, there wasn't an actual finished palette. Like, this palette wasn't on the website. It wasn't this finished product on the website. What you saw were the shadows, that the circular pans of shadows that were chosen to be put into the palette, and then you saw the cover art but you didn't see the actual finished product. And my understanding is that, I guess because she is a small brand, she does pre-orders, and she, I guess, to get a sense of what the demand will be before she goes ahead and then orders the actual finished product, which I understand. You know, if you're not, you don't have a lot of money perhaps, and you don't want to spend a lot of money buying a lot of product and then not knowing if it will sell or not. But my suggestion would be for her to get at least one finished prototype or something, one finished prototype that she could advertise on the website, because it just would look a lot more professional, and as a consumer, you know, I would get a better idea of exactly what it is I'm buying, if you know what I mean. So that would be my only con, my only criticism about the brand. Otherwise, my experience with shopping from them was fine and was good, and my use of the palette was very good as well. So would I recommend them? I would. I would recommend this palette. $58 is a lot of money, but you're getting 18 shadows, which kind of breaks it down to like $3.22 per shadow, and you are getting 4 duochromes, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually maybe 5. Did I include one of these as a ambition? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, so you're getting 4 duochromes, duochrome-esque eyeshadows for that price, and a lot of different formulas to try. So yes, I will be using this palette again. You let me know if you'd like to see me use it on camera again, and I will do that. Also, let me know in the comments, have you purchased anything from this brand before? Are you familiar with them? Did you buy this palette or any others? And what are your thoughts? Let me know down below. If you found this video at all helpful, I kind of feel like it was all over the place. I've been out of practice with my first impressions and reviews, so please bear with me. But if you liked this video and found it helpful or useful at all, then please give it a like and consider subscribing. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.